Welcome all students. 10th Standard Science and Technology Part 1 and the first lesson Gravitation. लास्ट लेक्चरमध्ये आपण न्यूटन्स लॉज ऑफ मोशन याबद्दलची माहिती बघितलेली आहे. नाउ in this lecture we want to learn about circular motion and centripetal force. One activity for you: tie a stone to one end of the string and take the other end in your hand and rotate the string so that the stone moves along a circle. Take other end of the string in your hand and try to rotate. Then what happens? The stone moves along a circle as shown just like in this figure. This is stone, and if you start to rotate, then what happens? The stone rotates in a circular path. As long as we are holding the string, we are pulling the stone towards us, that is towards the center of the circle, and are applying a force towards it. The force stops. समजा तुम्ही जर हातातून हा जो दोरा आहे, हा जर हातून जी तुम्ही ओढताय फोर्स, या सेंटरच्या दिशेने जो फोर्स लावताय तो फोर्स काढून टाकला तर the force stops acting. If we release the string, then what happens? In this case, the stone will fly off along a straight line which is the tangent to the circle. This is just like a tangent. Suppose the position of stone is here and you release the string, then what happens? The stone goes in this direction. When the position of stone is here and you release the string, then what happens? The stone goes in this direction, just like a tangent of a circle. That means here this is a string and this is a stone and the direction of a stone. You may take another example. This is a disc and you can rotate by using here. You can rotate this disc, and I put a 5 rupee coin on the disc here, and suddenly I rotate this disc. Then what happens? This 5 rupee coin flies off just like this. That means the 5 rupee coin flies off just like a tangent to the circle. Force acts on any object moving along a circle, and it is directed towards the center of the circle, and this is actually called the centripetal force. What is centripetal force? That force acts on any object. Here 5 rupee coin is an object, here stone is an object, and this object moving along a circle, and it is directed towards the center of the circle. We are applying a force on the stone, we are applying a force on the coin towards the center, but the force towards the center, you release the force, then what happens? This object flies off just like a tangent of a circle. This coin flies off just like a tangent to this circular disc, and the force which is acting towards the center, that force is known as centripetal force. Centripetal force means, what is the meaning? Centripetal force means central seeking towards the center, ज्याला आपण केंद्राभिमुख असं म्हणतो, केंद्राच्या दिशेने असणारे बल, ज्याला आपण सेंट्रिपिटल फोर्स असं म्हणतो. द ऑब्जेक्ट ट्राईज टू गो टुवर्ड्स द सेंटर ऑफ द सर्कल बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फोर्स. विच फोर्स? This force is known as centripetal force. We can take another example. You know that the moon, this moon which is the natural satellite of the Earth, goes round it in a definite orbit. This is the orbit of moon. The direction of motion of moon as well as its speed continuously changes. When the moon is in this position, the direction of moon is just like this. If the moon is here, in direction is just like this. Direction changes, direction and speed changes at every point here. Do you know? Some force is continuously acting on the moon. When a moon continuously go around the earth, there must be a force which is exerted on the moon, and this force must be exerted by the earth, which attracts the moon towards itself. This is a moon. Moon is moving around the earth, and the force is there in between earth and moon. The earth attracts the moon towards its center, and this force is also known as a centripetal force. Similarly, sun must be attracting the planets, including the earth, towards itself. Sun is also attracts every planet. Earth, just like a earth attracts moon towards itself. That force is known as a centripetal force. Now we want to study about Kepler's laws. Planetary motion had been observed by astronomers since ancient time. अगदी प्राचीन काळापासून हे जे प्लॅनेट्स आहेत ते कसे फिरतात, अवकाशामधून कशी फिरतात याच्याबद्दल शास्त्रज्ञांना खूप कुतूहल होतं आणि त्याचा अभ्यास ते अगदी प्राचीन काळापासून करतात. बिफोर गॅलिलिओ ऑल ऑब्झर्वेशन्स ऑफ द प्लॅनेट्स पोझिशन्स वेअर मेड विथ नेकेड आईज. फक्त आपल्या उघड्या डोळ्याने आपण ते बघत होतो, त्यांचा अंदाज घेत होतो, त्यांचे जे कक्षा आहेत त्याचा आपण अभ्यास करत होतो. बाय द 16th century a lot of data were available about planetary positions and motion. Johannes Kepler studied this data. He noticed that the motion of planets follows certain laws. He stated 3 laws describing planetary motion. What is planetary motion? म्हणजे आपण ज्याला म्हणतो की ग्रहांची गती. And these are known as Kepler's laws. Kepler gives 3 laws. He describing the planetary motion by giving 3 laws, and these laws known as Kepler's laws. Now we will study one by one the laws, Kepler's laws. An ellipse, ज्याला आपण वर्तुळ असं म्हणतो. What is an ellipse? An ellipse is the curve obtained when a cone is cut by an inclined plane. This is a cone. If I cut this cone in an inclined plane, then we get a ellipse. It has 2 focal points. The sum of the distances of the 2 focal points from every point on the curve is constant. These are 3 points on the ellipse: point B, point A and point C. Now distance BF1 and BF2 make a sum BF1 plus BF2. That is equal to AF1 plus AF2. That is also equal to CF1 plus CF2. That means the sum of the distances of the 2 focal points, the sum of the distances of the 2 focal points from every point from every point on the curve is constant. That means BF1 plus BF2 is equal to AF1 plus AF2, that is also equal CF1 plus CF2. This is an equation. The distance is equal everywhere. And what is F1, F2? F1 and F2 are two focal points. And now I am discussing with you Kepler's first law. The orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the Sun at one of the foci. You can observe the diagram in the book on page number 3. This is a position of actually Sun, and this is a position of planet, and the orbit is just like an ellipse. आता ही पोझिशन जी सूर्याची आहे ती कशी आहे? तर सूर्याची जी पोझिशन आहे ती एका फोकल पॉईंटवरती आहे. जसं आपण म्हटलं मगाशी की इथे एक फोकल पॉईंट आहे आणि इथे एक फोकल पॉईंट आहे. या एलिप्सला दोन फोकल पॉईंट असतात, की त्यापैकी एका फोकल पॉईंटवरती सूर्य आहे. द ऑर्बिट ऑफ ए प्लॅनेट इज ॲन एलिप्स विथ द सन ॲट वन ऑफ द फोकाय. हा जो सूर्य आहे तो त्या दोनपैकी एका फोकस पॉईंटवरती असतो. हा केपलरचा फर्स्ट लॉ आहे. केपलर सेकंड लॉ. केपलरचा दुसरा जो लॉ आहे तो समजून घेऊया. द लाईन जॉइनिंग द प्लॅनेट अँड द सन स्वीप्स equal areas in equal intervals of time. You observe the diagram in the book. This is the position of sun, this is a position of planet, and this is a line. This line joining to sun and planet. This line sweeps here up to this point to this point. This line joining to sun and planet. This line sweeps this line joining to sun and planet. This line sweeps from this position to this position. आता ही जी रेषा आहे सूर्य आणि प्लॅनेट याला जोडणारी जी रेषा आहे ती पुढे सरकते आणि त्यामुळं आता हे जी वेळ आहे टायमिंग आहे, सपोज एका तासामध्ये हा प्लॅनेट इथून इथं जातो. दुसरं इथं बघितलं आपण प्लॅनेटची ही पोझिशन सी ठिकाणी आहे. सी पासून प्लॅनेट डी पर्यंत जातो. ई पासून प्लॅनेट एफ पर्यंत जातो. आता एक एक तासाचं हे अंतर घेतलं आहे मी. एका तासामध्ये ए पासून बी, एका तासामध्ये सी पासून डी, एका तासामध्ये ई पासून एफ. आणि मग हे जे एरिया तयार झालेले आहेत हा एरिया आहे. कुठला एरिया बरं? एरिया ए एस बी. अ सेकंड DSC, third FSE. If you calculate the areas of these three triangles, then you will know that the areas are also equal, and therefore I am telling that the line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. एका तासामध्ये कव्हर केलेलं ही डिस्टन्स आहे या पॉईंटपासून या पॉईंटपर्यंत. एका तासामध्ये कव्हर केलेलं ही डिस्टन्स आहे सी पासून डी पर्यंत. एका तासामध्ये कव्हर केलेलं हे डिस्टन्स आहे ई पासून एफ पर्यंत. आणि अशा वेळेला हे जे ट्रँगल्स तयार झाले याचा आपण एरिया जर काढला तर तो एरिया कसा असतो? इक्वल. द स्क्वेअर ऑफ its period of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to cube of the mean distance of a planet from the sun. This is the Kepler's third law. What is the period of revolution? म्हणजे याला आपण म्हणतो ना की भ्रमण करण्याचा जो कालावधी आहे की प्लॅनेट काय करतात, सूर्याभोवती फिरतात, की ज्याची जी ऑर्बिट आहे हे कसं आहे, जस्ट लाईक ए एलिप्स. आणि मग हे एक पूर्ण करण्यासाठी जो वेळ लागतो त्याला म्हणायचं पिरियड ऑफ रिव्होल्यूशन. प्लॅनेट्सना सूर्याभोवती एक राऊंड पूर्ण करण्यासाठी जो टाईम लागतो त्याला म्हणायचं पिरियड ऑफ रिव्होल्यूशन. अँड डिस्टन्स ऑफ द प्लॅनेट इज नॉट द सेम. यू सी हिअर, दिस इज ए सन and this is a planet. Okay, this distance, we are taken the mean distance of a planet. And what is the ratio between these two? Period of revolution and the mean distance of the planet. What is the relation between these two things? Suppose T is a period of revolution. And R is average distance of the planet from the sun. Then we can write the equation from the law. T square is directly proportional to R cube. That is equal to T square upon R cube. That is constant. That is K. This is equation number 1. Kepler obtained these laws simply from the study of the positions of planets obtained by regular observations. He had no explanation as to why planets obey these laws. We will see below how these laws helped Newton in the formulation of his theory of gravitation. इथं एक गोष्ट तुमच्या लक्षात आली असेल, सूर्य, सन आणि प्लॅनेट यांच्यामधलं डिस्टन्स जेव्हा कमी आहे तेव्हा ह्या प्लॅनेटनी जास्त डिस्टन्स कव्हर केलेलं आहे. जेव्हा सन आणि प्लॅनेट यांच्यामधलं डिस्टन्स जेव्हा वाढलं तेव्हा हे जे कव्हर केलेलं डिस्टन्स आहे ते काय झालं, कमी झालेलं आहे. ओके, आता आपण या ठिकाणी थांबूया. पुढच्या लेक्चरमध्ये आपण शिकणार आहोत न्यूटन्स युनिव्हर्सल लॉ ऑफ ग्रॅव्हिटेशन. तिसऱ्या लेक्चरमध्ये आपण न्यूटन्स युनिव्हर्सल लॉ ऑफ ग्रॅव्हिटेशन शिकूया. थँक्यू.